press you on this.
So last week, you and I were speaking, and I cut you off, and you made a scene, but you brought it to my attention that I had cut you off, and that I may have missed something important that you were going to say. So this past week, I was very cognizant about whoever I was speaking with, letting them finish, and kind of relating to the monkey mind. I found that when I was cognizant about letting someone finish before I was going to start speaking, I was able to actually focus on what they were saying. And I found that I was able to actually respond to them in a more adequate way.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds like extremely obvious, but when you're accustomed to just kind of jumping on your thoughts and start speaking and not letting someone finish, you don't realize it.
I'm so glad that I can take what you just said and I can make it another thing that gets out. Because so many pieces of what you just said is really helpful. And you close with, and you don't realize it. So this is the kicker. I'm interested in us having a little bit more clarity of the things that we don't realize. So at least we can make a more informed decision about whether it's worth doing or not doing whatever we may do or not do. What are the advantages of this? What are the advantages of this? You're directing your mind. You directed your mind to sort of pay more attention. Well done. You were able to gather more data.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And I'll suggest to you, there's also a quality of emotional regulation that comes from keeping your mind on an object. Because when you ever have where you're talking to somebody and you start to get judgmental about what they're saying, or you become lost in distraction, like here's data coming at you, you're somewhere else, that can be a little exhausting. Here's data coming at you and you're meeting it. That can be invigorating. Some things you're going to hear that people say are really interesting, and you don't have to try so hard to pay attention, right? Sometimes people are going to say things that are more complicated or aren't so interesting, or you have a thought about the experience that has you indifferent to some extent, and you're going to be wanting to check out because it's going to feel like something. It's not like you're going to be sitting there saying, you might, but this is probably not worth my time. I really could be doing something else. You might have a little bit of that cogitation, but more likely you're just going to feel, how might you feel in a boring conversation?
Absolutely.
Would it be more, how do you feel, what's the feeling? Or say a little bit, what's a feeling? Because I'm not sure what absent feels like.
Okay. Uninspired.
Uninspired. So sort of sister and different. Good. What else? You're talking to somebody, it's really
Negative. Like one who speak always negative and make you
good.
go down.
What's the feeling
For me or for him?
for you? I don't know if you can know
Negative. I
it.
feel negativity coming out at me.
Okay, but what is it that you might be feeling?
Depressing.
Huh?
Depressing a little bit.
Okay, good. So the mood can drop, right? The mood can drop. Good. Right? Nice. What else? Yeah.
Restless.
Restless. Right? You feel restless. Yeah? If you're feeling restless, why wouldn't you do something to not feel restless? Like that makes perfect sense. If an animal were to feel restless, I can't imagine it not doing something to feel less restless. We're animals, but we have, as we began to read about the science for this week, this prefrontal cortex that helps us with decision making. Right? To actually make a decision